February 1959. 9 experienced hikers set out on an expedition into the remote Ural Mountains of the Soviet Union. They were young, skilled, and well prepared for one of the toughest winter journeys imaginable. None of them knew this trip would become one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in modern history. Weeks later, when the group failed to return, rescuers were sent into the frozen wilderness. What they discovered shocked everyone. The hikers' tent had been cut open from the inside. Their belongings were still inside, but the group had disappeared into the freezing night. Barefoot footprints led away from the campsite and vanished into the snow. What forced 9 experienced hikers to flee their shelter in temperatures below -30 degrees? More than 60 years later, the Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of the world's most chilling mysteries. The search operation began several weeks after the hikers disappeared. Rescue teams finally reached the campsite, high on the frozen mountain. What they found made no sense. The tent was still standing, but it had been sliced open from the inside. Most of the group's clothing, food, boots, and equipment had been left behind. Instead of staying inside the only shelter they had, the hikers had rushed out into the freezing darkness. Some of the footprints leading away from the tent appeared to have been made by people wearing only socks or walking barefoot. The tracks continued down the mountain before disappearing beneath fresh snow. Why would experienced hikers leave everything behind on one of the coldest nights of the year? That question became the beginning of one of history's greatest mysteries. Days later, rescuers made an even more disturbing discovery. The first 2 hikers were found beneath a large cedar tree at the edge of the forest. They were barefoot, wearing only light clothing, despite the freezing temperatures. Between the tree and the abandoned tent, more bodies were discovered. One by one, the search team found members of the expedition scattered across the mountainside, as if they had been desperately trying to return to their shelter. Months later, after the snow finally melted, the remaining hikers were found in a nearby ravine. Some had suffered severe internal injuries that investigators struggled to explain. With every new discovery, the mystery became even deeper. Instead of answering questions, the evidence created even more. What could have happened on that frozen mountain that forced 9 experienced hikers into such a desperate fight for survival? When investigators examined the scene, they searched for a logical explanation. An avalanche was considered, but many details did not seem to match the evidence. The slope where the tent was found was relatively gentle, and some of the equipment remained in place. Other theories suggested powerful winds, extreme weather, or a sudden natural event that forced the hikers to flee in panic. Over the years, dozens of explanations have been proposed. Some believed the group encountered military activity. Others suggested they were frightened by a rare natural phenomenon. But despite decades of research, no single theory has answered every question. The strange injuries, the abandoned tent, and the desperate escape into the freezing darkness continue to puzzle investigators even today. In recent years, scientists and investigators have continued to study the Dyatlov Pass incident using modern technology. New research suggests that a small but powerful avalanche may have forced the hikers to leave their tent during the night. Other experts believe that extreme winds, freezing temperatures, and poor visibility created a deadly chain of events. However, not everyone accepts these explanations. Some researchers argue that important details still remain unanswered. Why were some of the injuries so severe? Why did the hikers leave without proper clothing? And why are they unable to return to their tent, even though it was only a short distance away? More than 60 years have passed since that tragic winter night, yet the mystery continues to fascinate people around the world. Perhaps the complete truth disappeared forever beneath the snow of the Ural Mountains. Today, the Dyatlov Pass Incident remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in modern history. Countless investigations, scientific studies, and documentaries have attempted to explain what happened on that freezing February night. Some believe the mystery has finally been solved. Others are convinced that important pieces of the story are still missing. Perhaps we will never know exactly what those 9 hikers experienced in the darkness of the Ural Mountains. But one thing is certain. Their story continues to inspire researchers, historians, and mystery enthusiasts around the world. What do you think really happened at Dyatlov Pass? Share your opinion in the comments below. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Unknown Files TV, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next investigation into history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.